for March 7th of 2024. And first, I'd like to start with a moment of silence, please. And Chris, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and before I forget, I would like to let you know that Greg Richmond is joining us via FaceTime from an undisclosed location. So this is his face here. If anybody wants to confirm that, you're more than welcome to. All right. I'm going to do something a little different to start tonight's meeting, and I neglected this last month, but last month was Black History Month, and I'd like to just open this up with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and then also after that, I will read a quote because tomorrow is National International Day for Women. I just botched that, but I have another quote as well. So this is from Dr. King. When evil men plot, good men must plan. When evil men shout ugly words of hatred, good men must commit themselves to the glories of love.
Amen.
And secondly, and this is from Helen Keller, and this is a short but sweet quote: keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see the shadows. So just something for us to ponder before we get started here today.
Tell Greg that one.
All right, we'll go ahead and start with roll call, please.
Ron Bacon.
Here.
Rob Dimmitt.
Here.
Ted Metzger.
Present.
Brad Overton.
Here.
Richard Reed.
Present.
Greg Richmond. Here. Chris Wetstein.
Here.
Okay, that is all 7 council members accounted for. And the first item on tonight's agenda is approval of minutes from the regular meeting on February 1st, 2024, and the executive session memorandum on February 7th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
A motion from Ted to approve. Is there a
Second.
second? And a second from Rob. All those in favor?
We actually need a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, Greg, I hadn't learned from you. Now you can get a laugh back on that.
Ron Bacon.
Yes.
Rob Dimmitt.
Yes.
Ted Metzger.
Aye.
Brad Overton.
Aye.
Richard Reed.
Yes.
Greg Richmond. Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
That's all 7 in favor. The motion carries 7-0. All right, the second item on the agenda of tonight is lit business, tax phase in, preliminary resolution, matrix.
Good evening, everyone. Steve Raleigh, Economic Development Director. We are here tonight for the preliminary resolution, as Commissioner Overton just mentioned, for a brand new project in a new tax phase and an outstanding project for Warrick County. I want to first point out that I'm joined tonight by Kevin Kerr in the back, who is the VP of Operations for Matrix Design Group, and also Lisa Harp, who is the Construction Project Manager for this project. I sent you guys a whole bunch of information, including a summary, so I'm not going to go through all of those sheets, but just on the high level, this is a $10.2 million, about 40,000 square foot facility that is going to be used for advanced engineering and lab and testing space. With this project, it brings 68 extremely high-paying jobs to Warrick County.
And Steve, let me interrupt you for just a second. Those are 68 new jobs or
New
existing jobs?
New
Yes.
jobs.
Thank you.
To Warrick County, that average over $98,000 a year.
What was that again?
Average over $98,000 a year. Do
Thank
you want
you
an
very much.
application?
Getting ready to ask you that. Can we
Ma-
turn this up a little more?
Matrix Design Group has been in Warrick County almost 20 years. They are safety and productivity technology leader, started in underground mining and have moved to other industrial applications. They're doing some really high tech, some really cool stuff over there. We've been working with them for a little over a year on this project and making sure this project stays and lands in Warrick County. We are really excited about it. As most of you know, we don't do this every day, but a lot of you have been through an abatement before. I know, Rob, it may be your first one. Tonight would be the preliminary resolution, which you guys have, and then we'll all be back next month for the confirming resolution. So it is a two-step process. They do have plans for additional expansion after this. One point to mention is that you have a resolution in your packet from the Redevelopment Commission. And the Redevelopment Commission has to pass this resolution of support because this project is in a TIF district. And so the investment and the new taxes would go into the TIF fund that the Redevelopment Commission has. They are in unanimous support of this project and landing it here. Matrix is a strong community partner participating in school programs and other programs throughout the county. And I guess I can just cut it there. You guys have seen a rendering, a floor plan, all of that information. Happy to answer any questions. Certainly Kevin and Lisa are happy to answer any questions. And then again, we would be back next month for the confirming resolution.
Does anyone have any questions for Steve?
I have a question about the new jobs.
Yep.
Is there any kind of guarantee that so many of them will be Warrick County residents?
There is not, Ted, and I know it is a great question. And
Yeah.
it's something that comes up all the time, but whether it's Deaconess or whether it's Alcoa, it's kind of the same answer. They want to bring people in as close as possible to where they work. And they are continuing to land in Warrick County and didn't go elsewhere because of the quality of place and the housing expansion and the availability to land here. So there just is not. I always use Alcoa as an example. I think if they could, they start advertising here within Warrick County every single time. But when they can't fill the positions, they're going to take, qualified applicants. So there is not, but most of the people and where they're located, what winds up happening is they become Warrick County residents as we have the growth and we have the housing market. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah, that's what I expect.
there's not a way for us to tie it to that piece of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments for Steve? Greg, did you have anything? No. Okay. Looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Rick and a second by Ron.
Do you need to read the title before we vote?
Yes.
And this is Warrick County Resolution Number 2024. 3. Thank you. A resolution of the Warrick County Council authorizing the Warrick County, sorry. Not area code. Wait a minute. I'm looking for it.
Here it is. You got it, Crystal?
Okay, resolution number 2024-03, a preliminary resolution declaring an economic revitalization area for real and personal property tax phase-in, Matrix Design Group, LLC. Crystal, roll call, please.
Ron Bacon,
Aye.
Rob Dimmitt,
Aye.
Ted Metzger,
Aye.
Brad Overton,
Aye.
Richard Reed,
Aye.
Greg Richmond. Yes. Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be back next month.
Thank
Okay.
you. Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. All right, the next item on the agenda, Park and Recreation Business, a discussion, replace culvert and repair road. Good evening.
Hi, Ben Labhart, Warrick County Parks Department. I know tonight, this is just for discussion because I didn't get all my figures in time to get it advertised for an additional for tonight. But I think Crystal got everybody some pictures and stuff. And the section of the road that keeps giving us problems, the highway department has patched it for us a couple times, but it's just not working. The culvert that's in there now, it's been, God knows how long it's been in there. It's been a long time though. So the culvert just needs to be replaced. And Bobby, Howard, and Steve Sherwood came out and took a look at it, and they gave us their recommendation on what size pipe. And then Steve got some prices for us. And I know you guys have a copy of the prices we're looking at. Really, all I'm looking for tonight is just to be able to get the pipe ordered because, Steve said fabrication and delivery will take 4 to 6 weeks. And, if I wait until the next meeting, we're going to be looking at May, and that's when we really start getting busy. So I just don't want to burden another month, waiting to get the pipe ordered. But like I said, I know I didn't get all my figures in time to get it advertised for an additional for this meeting, but I am going to be asking for the additional at the next meeting. But I just want to be able to get the pipe ordered so we're not burning a month.
So I think the only ask is if the council members have any issue or concerns, let's talk about it now. And if not, the official action will be at the April meeting for the additional appropriation.
And if any of you want to come look at it, I can meet you out there anytime, but I know Crystal walks out there all the time, and it's, it's getting bad. We need to replace it. So, and I'm sure you've seen it, Brad.
Does anyone have any questions or strongly opposed against this for Ben? So we can kind of go ahead and.
How much bigger of a pipe are you putting in?
I think it's the same. I mean, it's smaller, but if you look at the pipe now, a lot of the capacity of the pipe over the years has been
Settled.
Yeah, but the amount of the current culvert that's out of the ground, this new pipe is just as big. And I also want to add too that Bobby did say that if we take care of the pipe and the rock, that he'll have the highway department do the work, which obviously we appreciate.
All right. So I think unless we have anything else for Ben, appreciate your time and thanks for the information, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is EMA business. Looks like we've got an additional ask for motorized equipment, $52,000.
Good evening, Matt Gable, Director of Warrick County Emergency Management. I'm here to ask for a additional appropriation for a 2024 Chevy 2500. We have right now a 2013 Chevy 2500 that was handed down to us a while ago from the County Highway Department. It has a lot of issues with it. First, when you drive it and you push the brakes, it shakes. When you turn left, it has a loud grinding noise. When you're trying to get up to speed, it has a loud knock to it. It will shift hard and it will not get to the momentum that you need it to be at the very beginning. EMA does a lot with the county here. We have a lot of heavy equipment that we pull for any kind of disasters, anything that arises from terrorism attacks to tornadoes to helping the other 11 counties within our district of 10. So we also not just respond to Warrick County, but we have 11 other counties that we respond to. With the truck that we have now, I don't feel that it's up to par where we should be if a disaster arises within our county and the other counties to make sure that we can pull our equipment and it would break down on us. So I'm coming to ask for you guys, if you would, there's a typo, the 52,000, the quote was 52,935 for the Chevy 2500. We do rely on a lot of grants with the EMA. The grant that we would apply for, the state has taken away from a lot of EMAs, so we can't get that competitive grant. That's usually what the EMAs go for to get equipment as such. With that, if I can take any questions, I'd be more than happy to.
So Matt, first thing I want to do is apologize because you'd sent me an email a month ago and I did not get back with you or didn't. I spoke to you at one of the meetings a little while ago and I'm sorry for not meeting with you independently. That being said, I've got some questions for you though. So what year is this vehicle you're wanting to replace again? I've seen it in the notes, but I can't remember.
It's a 2013 Chevy 2500.
And did that have 95,000 miles on it? Is that right?
It was close to 95, yes.
Okay. And now I'm definitely not a mechanic, but it sounds like that I would have thought that I just drove your truck up to the square here because my truck is doing the exact same thing. And even now I noticed my rear brake pads are squeaking. So if anybody heard me rolling and making a noise, but so have you checked into just getting these items replaced? I mean, it sounds to me like you got a brake job, maybe some lifters that might be going out.
So
I'm not a mechanic, but
I have, I listened to a couple of the council members as well. I talked to Rob and he asked me, and I've talked to some other people to take it to law. So right now, what they found that they can find is about $2,000 of fixing it for the issues they found. So I asked about the knocking, about the hard shifting. They asked me if the light, the check engine light has came on. It has not. So they can't diagnose something without, they said, a check engine light with their computers, I guess how they do it. So that's the issue right there. So I don't know how much that would cost because they can't determine that with not having the check engine light come on.
The knocking, is that the motor or the transmission knocking when it's
When it's shifting, it sounds like the transmission's knocking.
Because every once in a while, like my truck, I feel a hard knock, but it happens 1 hour 50 times, so I didn't know. Okay.
so I've got a couple things. Is one, I mean, normally vehicles, unless something is just completely inoperable, which we've had occur at times, we probably wouldn't be granting an additional vehicle in March. But then I'd also suggest if they can't diagnose that, I think I would try to at least find a secondary opinion for some other repair shop to at least see if they could determine what's going on, because I'm not speaking ill of anyone, but just the fact that the light's on doesn't mean you couldn't do some type of diagnosis on the vehicle. At least I would think, but maybe not.
They still have the truck. During their inspection and looking at things, they drill through the door. So when they were trying to unclog where the water can drain from the doors, they actually drilled through our door. So right now that's at Cron's getting fixed. So I'm down to one emergency vehicle for the whole county.
So are both of these vehicles driven daily, or do they just sit, or what exactly? I mean,
So I have the director's truck, and then the white truck is the deputy director's truck.
okay, but that didn't answer my question. Are they driven daily?
Yes.
And I'm just curious though, why are they driven daily if these are just used to pull equipment or during a crisis, during an emergency? Why would we be driving these vehicles every single day?
Because we're emergency responders. We respond to disasters, fire calls. If we have drones, so if the fire department or the police department or anything that need drones, other counties need drones, we respond to all different kind of disasters within the county and outside of the county.
Well, I mean, I'm just most of the part in the county that there's not that, if you've driven before and that's kind of what is going on, but I just, I think maybe this vehicle, some of the times these vehicles, that's a lot of miles. They're in a fairly short amount of time, but I would think that you could respond to this vehicle in the event of an emergency, at least in Warrick County, within a reasonable amount of time. But that's my opinion. I'll stop trying to hog the mic if anybody else has got some comments. Greg, do you have anything? Okay.
So vehicles run without the check engine lights being on, because mine's on all the time. In my old Fords.
That's why they're parked beside each other. So's mine. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? I'm looking for a motion then.
Do you think you could get a used vehicle a little bit cheaper than that?
I'm not for sure. I mean, I'm sure I could look into it, but if we're getting into a vehicle, I'm looking at a vehicle that is going to last us a while. So with EMA, we take care of our equipment. I mean, that's constantly what we do. Getting a new vehicle, we know that it's brand new and it's going to be well maintained and stuff like that. Coming from used vehicles and stuff like that, me personally, I've had issues with buying used vehicles because then they can break down with issues that they may not tell you. So getting a new vehicle, I know that we have one that will be maintained well. Everything will be checked and moving forwards.
So that truck you're wanting to replace, that came from the county highway department, right?
Yes.
And that, when was that, like a year ago, or do you know?
Bobby, do you know?
It was 20
So it's been like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else got any questions? Looking for a motion.
So I'll ask, has this truck been ongoing problems or are these just, is it in the shop all the time or what?
So when I came as the deputy director, the prior director has said that this has been a lot of money coming out of our budget to fix, to put Band-Aids on it. So it has been issues prior before I even got here.
Do you have any numbers on that? Anything at all that, like how much has been spent in the past couple of years in maintenance or any, repairs, I should
I would
say?
have to pull all that from before I was even here.
I think I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what Chris said there. I mean, I think I would definitely get another opinion as far as repairs before I would be comfortable with approving this type of funding. So is anybody
I'll make a motion to approve.
looking for a second?
What's the motion to
The
approve?
motion to approve the additional appropriation from County General. Have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Ask one more time. Is there a second? There's a second from Greg.
It's already discussed.
All right, do we have any additional discussion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for a roll call vote.
Ron Bacon,
I'm going to vote no at the time because I really think you need to look into it farther and get another opinion. And normally we do vehicles, through budget, if it's still running and at the budget time. You can't, if it breaks down and we can't get anything, we can look at it with that. But otherwise, I'd say no.
Rob Dimmitt,
No.
Ted Metzger,
Aye.
Brad Overton,
Nay.
Richard Reed,
No.
Greg Richmond,
Yes.
Chris
Emergency management.
Chris Wetstein.
I'll agree with what Ron said. I'd like to readdress this in a few months after we find out more about the vehicle. No, is my vote.
The motion to pass the additional appropriation fails. We have 2 ayes and 5 nays. And the nays are Ron Bacon, Rob Dimmitt, myself, Chris, and Rick. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, the next item on the agenda tonight is credit card approval.
Sorry.
Hello,
Good evening.
Molly Barnhill, Director of the Warrick County Planning Commission. We're looking to be able to take credit card payments in the office. We've seen a big demand for it. We're sending people away to go get cash or to go get their checking book to pay for a permit every day. So to be able to accept credit card payments, we have to have a checking account to put the money, and then we turn it over to the treasurer. It would be once a month. So I've talked to People's Bank, and it would be a free business checking account. We would have to pay for checks, which is, not much, $20 or something like that. And then we could take credit card transactions in the office.
Molly, I have a question. What are the transaction fees? Will you cover that? Like let's say if it's $1,000, you're going to charge an extra 2%, 3%?
So the way it's set up, it's a 2.75% convenience fee that would be passed on to the person, buying the permit with a minimum of $1. And our typical permit's $100 for a residential permit.
And you may not know the answer to this, but I do spy somebody in the audience that might. Is this the same percentage that the treasurer's office would charge for property tax payments?
I'm not exactly sure. It's very similar. I did check with who they use. I'm not sure.
Okay, I was just trying to keep us so we're on the same, at least the I was just curious about that, if it's the same amount.
I don't think it can charge over 3%. I think 3% is max what they're, if I'm thinking correctly, on all credit cards, so. On a convenience fee.
Okay. So, but at least we're going to cover the cost of the convenience.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Molly, you said that you would be paying for the checks, but you would only be issuing checks once a month to pay the treasurer. Is that correct?
Right.
From that account.
Yes.
And only other thing I can think of, because I really asked about this when this came up, was is there who's going to be overseeing it? I mean,
Overseeing
make sure
the,
everything goes back and forth correctly.
well, that'd be me.
That'd be you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay. So
What credit card company are you using, Molly?
They're called Certified Payments, and they're a sister company of Deluxe Checks.
So there is a resolution before you that Cliff drafted. It would be resolution number 2024-04. Do you have that one, Brad?
I do have that one, Crystal. Thank you. Approve? Yeah, I'm looking, we have a motion on the floor from Ted and a second by Rick. All right. Any other further discussion before we call for a roll call vote? All right, Crystal?
And you want to read it first?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I was doing good, just remembering the roll call. Warrick County Council Resolution Number 2024-04, a resolution of the Warrick County Council authorizing the Warrick County Area Planning Commission to accept payments by bank card and credit card. Now we'll call for the roll call.
Ron Bacon,
aye.
Rob Dimmitt,
Aye.
Ted Metzger,
Aye.
Brad Overton,
Aye.
Richard Reed,
Aye.
Greg Richmond,
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Congratulations.
All right. Next item on the agenda is animal control donation, other services and charges, $2,000.
Good evening,
Good
Heather Soberg,
evening.
County Administrator. This appropriation is, we have a donation fund that people will, different times have made donations, and over the years, that fund has just kind of sat there. There's not a lot in it. But we recently received a significant donation from a group that wanted to make sure that it was directed at a special need animal. Would just like to put some money on a line that we could actually use these donations. For example, this dog needed some pretty significant care for heartworm. And so that care is probably between $700 and $1,000. So just wanted to get the money there so they could use that in order to pay for that care.
Okay, thank you. Any,
Motion to approve?
have a motion on the floor from Ted to approve. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
That was close. You almost got him, but see, age got you right there. That's what it was. And a second on the floor by Rob. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote.
Ron Bacon,
Aye.
Rob Dimmitt,
Aye.
Ted Metzger,
Aye.
Brad Overton,
Aye.
Richard Reed,
Aye.
Greg Richmond,
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
All right, the motion carries 7-0. All right, the next item on the agenda is 6B, Appropriations Commissioners, Legal Services, $100,000. I'm going to make a motion to deny.
I'll second.
Rick, I think you were quicker on the gun. All right, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ron Bacon,
Aye.
Rob Dimmitt,
Aye.
Ted Metzger,
Aye.
Brad Overton,
Aye.
Richard Reed,
Yes.
Greg Richmond,
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
All right, the motion to deny carries 7-0. Next item on the agenda is appropriations, lit construction, Telephone Road, $600,000. Lincoln Avenue, $25,391.53. And Oak Grove Road, $59,248.88. I almost said Grover. I'm sure we all, Al, you chuckled. You knew where Grover was from.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Bobby Howard, Warrick County Engineer. These are the edit funds tonight. The telephone road project is to let for construction this July, and this will be to help go toward our local match. And then the other two funds would be to close out the grants.
Anybody have any questions for Bobby?
What else you got left on Lincoln Avenue?
This is to just to close out and zero out the
Okay.
grant funds.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion on the floor from Ron and a second by Rick. Any additional discussion? Calling for a roll call vote, please.
Ron Bacon.
Aye.
Rob Dimmitt.
Aye.
Ted Metzger.
Aye.
Brad Overton.
Aye.
Richard Reed.
Aye.
Greg Richmond.
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Thanks, Bobby.
All right, next item on the agenda, these are handbook policy reimbursements, transfers, or corrections. All items listed have been checked for accuracy and can be voted under one motion. I'm going to go ahead and just read the headings on these items as we have done in the past. Item 8A is additional appropriation, missed encumbrance correction. Contractual services, $62,800. Ohio Township Park, $1 million. Prospect Drive, $582,272. Park Bond, $300,926. Warrick Trail, $252,310.37. I will stop since those were two different ones. Anybody have any questions on those real quick? Okay, and the next item, 8B, is salary ordinance, handbook, retiree payout. Sheriff, $24,238. Retiree payout, jail, $19,596. And anybody have any questions on those? I will clarify one thing, the sheriff's not retiring, even though that his name was listed there. 8C is another handbook item, case manager. This is from Superior Court, $3,014. Retiree payout, salary ordinance, Superior Court 1, $3,013.37. I'm looking for a motion unless we have some discussion.
So moved.
Motion by Rick
I'll second it.
and a second by Chris. And looking for that roll call vote, please.
Sorry. Ron Bacon.
Aye.
Rob Dimmitt.
Aye.
Ted Metzger.
Aye.
Brad Overton.
Aye.
Richard Reed.
Aye.
Greg Richmond.
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
Motions carry 7-0. Under council business, we do have a heading of forensic audit discussion. And I'm going to go ahead and let Cliff just address that item real quick if he doesn't mind.
Sure. So the commissioners entered into an agreement for a forensic audit of grant funds of the health department. We had some questions on the contract because in essence, there is no cap on the amount that contractor can spend and charge the county. And it includes hourly rates of up to $640 an hour, which just seems to be quite high. So we have some questions I have some questions out to the county attorney on some of those issues. We wanted to bring it to the commissioner's attention because while they enter into it, hopefully before the bill gets too high, we can have the discussion so that they come back to the council for appropriation. The council will be fully advised of why it's needed. So there's really no action item for us tonight. Hopefully the county attorney will meet with me soon about that.
Okay, thank you.
Should we table that?
There's no motion. It was
There's no
just,
mo- yeah.
yeah, just a discussion. And the next item under council business, and this has definitely been a topic that's been a hot item in the news lately, is the proposed CenterPoint rate increase. If you all, hopefully you've had a chance to look through this, I'll summarize it. Basically, the council is simply stating that we'll get to the bottom. The Council of Warrick County opposes CEI South's verified petition for rate changes pending before the Indiana Regulatory Commission under cause number 45990. And I would hope that we could, I'm looking for a motion to accept that letter to CenterPoint.
So moved.
A motion on the floor by Rick and a second by, is that you, Rob?
Yeah.
Anybody have any discussion or comments before a roll call vote?
How about you read the resolution title?
Yes, thank you. Is that 5, I believe?
This is
4,
Oh, no, I thought 04 was the.
5. I can't count.
Okay, it's all right.
Brad. Good job,
I
Brad.
got that one. Warrick County Council Resolution Number 2024-05 is a resolution opposing the verified petition of Southern Indiana Gas and Electric Company doing business as CenterPoint Energy Indiana South for rate changes before the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, cause number 45990. All right, roll call vote, please. Or does anybody have any? I think we already asked for discussion. Go ahead.
Ron Bacon.
Aye.
Rob Dimmitt.
Aye.
Ted Metzger.
Aye.
Brad Overton.
Aye.
Richard Reed.
Aye.
Greg Richmond.
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
All right, the resolution passes 7-0, and we can add this to the opposing voices that have spoken very loudly about this issue. Okay, next item on the agenda for council business is budget meeting dates. I think we've all have taken a look at those. I know there's been some input provided prior to this updated list. Does anybody have anything additional or other comments about these dates?
Since we fixed the fair.
Motion to accept the dates.
There's a motion on the floor to accept the dates. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And a second by, sorry, motion on the floor by Ted and a second on the floor by Chris. I apologize. So we'll go ahead and call for a roll call vote.
Can we have a
please.
discussion? I'm still looking for the dates.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, double check, because you changed it from the.
I changed it to
Okay.
fair.
All right. That's why I just wanted to make sure of, so we're good. Thank you, sorry.
Oh, so you're good. That means we're good, correct?
Well, not necessarily.
Listen to this pretty face.
You know, I'm not always good, but he's good.
All right, we'll do that roll call vote, I guess, to pass these dates.
Ron Bacon.
Just to please Rob, I'll say aye.
Rob Dimmitt.
Aye.
Ted Metzger.
Aye.
Brad Overton.
Aye.
Richard Reed.
Yes.
Greg Richmond.
Yes.
Chris Wetstein.
Yes.
All right, the dates for the budget passed 7-0. Looks like, not missing anything else on our stuff. We do have on the sign-in sheet for public comment, Candace Hubner. Candace? Sorry, I take my glasses off where I can see. Seems contradictory.
You could just help me to understand a couple of things.
Well, I will try, but if not, I've got some people that are a lot smarter than me that might be able to help us address questions that you might have.
I had some money come in for a donation to animal control. So I tried to take that over to the auditor's office to be deposited. And the question came up that there was not an earmark for what that donation was for. So they didn't want to accept it. So can you help me understand what I need when a donation comes in?
That is not
I
something
don't know if
the
that's
council
something-
typically.
I ought to talk to the auditor on that one.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have an answer.
I know.
So my concern came in with moving money tonight from a donation line to another service line. Because when I looked at this month's deposits, it was not $2,000. It was only $700. So if that money is earmarked, how can we move it? And I don't know what the right resource to go to for that answer would be.
That information, as far as the additional appropriation, was a request from the Animal Control Donation Fund where there was cash already available to move forward to pay for services for animals at animal control. And so they made their decision based on that information. I don't quite understand why the auditor is refusing your donation. Does it say that it's for animal control on there?
Just donation, and it's mailed to animal control.
Okay, so can you possibly get whoever made the donation? I know this is, you're accepting money from donation. You don't want to make it hard on anyone else, but get them to state on there that it is for animals at animal control or for food at animal control or whatever. And then maybe the auditor would accept it. But honestly, the auditor should tell you what needs to be on there.
The auditor here.
If I may, sorry. I don't know.
Oh, could you say your name?
Sorry,
State your name,
Heather Silver,
please.
County Administrator. We're discussing an animal control item with a non-animal control or commissioner employee. And so I just wanted to clarify that
True.
she did take those to the auditor's office. I have that now to make those moves that we need to be making with them.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Do you understand that?
No,
I don't think I understand.
I
I'm
mean,
not sure.
I think we understand
They're
it.
public
What Heather's
funds.
trying to say is you're the health department.
Correct.
And the animal control is controlling animal control now, not the health department at
The
this point.
commissioners. The
The
commissioners.
commissioners.
I understand that, but the money
oh,
came into us when it was still under our control. So that's why I was trying to make the deposit, but still it's a public fund, so shouldn't the public have access?
The
No.
public just can't come into the auditor's office and say,
I want to
Yeah.
make
I
a
want to make a
deposit.
donation.
Right.
Or, it has to go through a department head.
Okay, so next time, just take it to a different department head.
It has to go to, now the commissioners are in charge of animal control. So it'd have to go through the commissioner's office to go to the auditor's office to be put into the fund.
Okay.
Okay?
And then my other question was, I had been made aware that on January 29th, there was an advertisement that Warrick County Animal Control was seeking an administrative clerk. However, that's still under a health department line. So I don't understand how that's possible.
Again, these are commissioners' issues and somewhat involving the pending litigation. These are not council issues. So council would not be, for that particular question, the right body to go to.
So even though that's in my budget and it hasn't been moved.
It's the subject of pending litigation right now.
Okay, that's what I needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And we have one more speaker, John Sizemore, I believe.
John Sizemore, a citizen of Warrick County. First of all, thank you for addressing the budget request for the legal fees. That's amazing. Secondly, in a situation like this, if a police officer is under investigation or anything's going on like that, they're on administrative leave. They're not allowed to make any choices on behalf of the citizens or the public. Have we considered anything like that with what's going on today with the commissioners? To relieve them while they're under the investigation. If they're found innocent, they come back. If they're found guilty, they're spending our money at will. And it's kind of as a citizen, it's concerning. A lot of the citizens here that I've talked to, the concern is they still get to do what they want to do with this money and make choices that they've already been kind of under investigation for.
I'll kind of jump in.
I'm gonna let Cliff-
Yeah,
Cliff,
I
if you
mean,
would, please.
one, it is, again, a pending litigation, a civil matter. Now it's a criminal matter as well. What I can tell you, though, as far as your example of police officer, that's an employee. These are elected officials. So there is a much different process to remove a public official. There is no really process for putting a public official or elected official on administrative leave. Right now, there's just charges. There's not been a conviction. So there's nothing for the council to do on that point right now.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks, Cliff.
Does anyone else have any comments, public? Anyone on the council have any comments or questions?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, I have a motion on the floor.
Rick's
by
fast today, isn't he?
Ron, the second, or by Ron, and the second by Rick. And I'm pretty sure this is going to pass by unanimous decree. We don't actually need to call that, do we?
No.
Or
Everybody's like, real fast.
Cliff? do
I
we
called
need-
it.
Okay, all right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
You need to work on that. Learn how to say everyone's name real fast. Like in one sentence.
I almost said Grover.
And then we all just.
Greg.